The Night Chicago cheered. Stone Cold and The Rock, the Night Chicago booed. Kurt Angle and Chris Jericho, the Night Chicago cheered. When Rikishi put his ass right in Vince McMahon's face, the Night Chicago cheered. I'm John Renton with the retro review of WWE Smackdown for December 6, 2001. There's nothing like a Chicago wrestling crowd at the Allstate Arena inside Chicago, Illinois, as opposed to outside Chicago, Illinois. It wouldn't make a lot of sense if it was the Allstate Arena in Chicago, but was outside Chicago. That's not how geography works. Also, anyway, enough geography lessons. This was the go-home show for WWE Vengeance 2001. Only one champion will remain at the end of that evening, and who was it? It was Chris Jericho, because he talked about being The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the same night about 18 million times. But it was a big goddamn deal, and then they proceeded to basically nullify and totally nuke his title reign. And before WrestleMania, he was walking around Stephanie McMahon's dog on a leash. Not Stephanie McMahon on a leash. I'm not here to king shame, but she looks like the type. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on this show in the comments, please. Will Vince kiss The Rock's ass, or will Kurt Angle lose his title shot? We find out. Cole and Lawler on commentary. So this is all about Vengeance hype. Just various matchups on the Vengeance card, and they're just, basically humans had to be in this card together, just, trying to come up with a way. Let's get to the pay-per-view, and then let's have a great show. Ha ha ha! I'm a genius, damn it! Such good shit. But anyway, Edge, Big Show, and Kane took on Regal, the Dudleys. And Stacy was also there. So this is to hype up the Intercontinental Championship and Tag Team Championship matches at the same time. Where, well, the crowd was into it. There was a lot of pyro smoke. My fucking goodness, there was. Stacy nearly got spanked by the Big Show. Stop thinking about it, Zach. I know you're thinking about it. I'm talking about Stacy being involved. That's what I mean. Edge ends up, pinning Devon, and that's pretty much it right there. There wasn't much to this match, but the crowd was into it, and that's one thing. Sometimes a hot crowd can make the most basic, go-home show seem better than it actually is. There was one really big moment about halfway through the show. Angle and Vince, they discussed strategy. Vince was like, you didn't think I was going to show up? Ha ha ha! I've got a plan, damn it. Let's go with your plan. Wait, no, let's go with my plan. Bruce, are you here? Bruce! Susan! Anyway, recast of Lita and the Hardys, that all fracas and everything, and Jeff and Matt are talking, and Matt is going to take on RVD for the hardcore title and all this, and Jeff, you need to, Jeff, you need to listen to me, damn it. So anyway, we then cut to Vince and Angle. Those are the plans. Ha 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 ha. We don't actually find out what the plans are. Stone Cold is going to, get what he deserves. And then Kurt has some throat lozenges for him. Basically, he wants to make sure that Vince McMahon feels better. Ha ha. So RVD took on Matt for the hardcore title, and it was typical stuff. You didn't see a lot of Matt wrestling. Work hard on these puns, please laugh. And we get some action sooner and later, because the ladder's involved. Do you get it? Do I need to be in your skull? Hopefully not, because my puns are so goddamn on the nose, you might as well be burying your face in a bowl like Scarface. Don't do drugs, kids. I regret saying that. Don't pull a Gino Hernandez. But anyway, RVD chance gets a Van Daminator for 3, and then Taker blindsides RVD, and then, bumps him around on the little staging area and hits the ladder to the gut. And he does the RVD thing. Cool, he does the thing. I only did RVD, now I did the thing. And this isn't the last time that we see this. So Vince says that that throat lozenge has helped, but what if he takes this lozenge and uses it as good news? It's a suppository. Professor Farnsworth is a less angry old man than Vince McMahon. That is scary, considering that Professor Farnsworth was about 160 years old. If I live to be 160, we are all fucking doomed. If I live to be 60, I'll be amazed. Anyway, Scotty and his worm, along with Albert, took on Test Christian, W-O-R-M action a little bit later. And big boot on Albert, big boot on Scotty, 1, 2, 3. And then a big boot to Earl Hebner because he's got diplomatic immunity, and in a few months it was just revoked. So The Rock shows up to a pop, and he talks about, got serious business, so Vince is going to have to come down and kiss some ass. The Windy City, and the place where Vince is going to kiss some ass and all that, because they're in Chicago. Also, Brian Urlacher, before he endured a lot of head trauma and decided to be an idiot, was there at ringside. So Vince shows up, and he's got his plan and everything, but, he's not going to do it. Rock's like, gonna expose his ass and everything, and people are cheering and everything, because who doesn't want to see Dwayne's rock hard ass? Anyway, Austin suddenly shows up. What? He shows up on the screen. He's beating up Kurt Angle, like brutalizing him as much as he brutalized Deborah. And then it's like, oh, you're a little playing with up in smoke. I'll beat your ass if you come backstage. Rock says, it sucks to be you, doesn't it? Sucks to be you. It's sad, but it's true. Flair says if anybody else interferes, they're suspended. And Vince, get down on your knees. The Rock says, get down on your knees. I don't know why it was funny. And he's like, oh, your lips aren't fit to kiss the people's ass. And this could be a slobber knocker. Here's JR. He puts his hat on Vince. He's going to make him kiss his ass. He's like, whoa. No, JR. Why don't you just go sit down there? I got another idea. How about a little stratisfaction, Vince? Then he's all ready to kiss Trish's ass. I get it. Says, what in the blue hell do you think you're doing, you sick freak? Then Trish goes and sits there. And he says, The Rock has an ass specifically just for you. Rikishi's music hit. Remember at this point, or around this time, like the same time the year before, where Rikishi was a hated heel and did it for The Rock, did it for the people, and the heel turn was absolute bullshit, and nobody bought Rikishi as a bad guy. Not that Rikishi couldn't be a badass, but he was a guy sticking his ass in people's faces. Yes, he had been a heel before, part of the Samoan SWAT team, and head shrinkers, that kind of, it just wasn't going to work, not with this gimmick. So, he'd come back from some kind of shoulder surgery or something, shoulder or knee or something like that. And Rikishi shows up. Vince is just horrified. JR is just absolutely laying into it and everything. And Vince tries to escape rock bottom and says, old Lucifer's lips on the biggest ass in the WWF. Why that line didn't just, why I didn't lead off with that line, I have no goddamn idea. Probably because I just wanted to sound like a sportscaster briefly. Old Lucifer's lips on the biggest ass in the WWF. One of JR's best calls. One of his goofiest, but also one of his best calls. And then Crash Holly took on Jaqueline. Apparently he had a thank you, Derb. I will never be able to say Jacqueline the same way. I'll always say Jaqueline. So Crash had insulted her and Trish, saying, oh, I'm not trying to insult your match of vengeance, just a girls' match. So, it was a typical match, and Crash had to cheat to beat Jaqueline. Thank you. God damn it. And Jackie got upset and fisted him. All right. Angle was on the phone with Vince and digging himself a hole, and Vince was yelling and hung up. And here's Booker to talk to Vince, but Rick's just there because Vince left, and he says he's not hiring people right now. Tell me you didn't just say that. And Booker would show up at Vengeance and cost Austin the victory, and then would get hired, but then would get laid out by Stone Cold Steve Austin in the Supermarket Steve Stakes, rather, just a week after this. By the way, that's going to be the cutoff. After the Supermarket Brawl, that's going to be it. I'm not doing any more of this episodic, wrestling stuff. Not because there hasn't been good shit, and not because, like, say, Ruthless Aggression or whatever, there isn't good stuff. I only got so many hours in a day, guys. I got to cut back on this stuff. But it's been fun. And I'm going to continue to retro review stuff. Don't worry. Just not at this pace. So the APA is just playing cards. Taker shows up, and they talk about, we watch your back, part of the ministry, the darkness, all that. And all about the little respect. It's the eraser, deal. And it's like, I'll beat it out of all of you. Okay, we get Bradshaw versus Undertaker. The Biker Bros explode. Farouk shows up a bit later and steals the motorcycle and steals the little trikey and takes it up the stage. But chokeslam 1, 2, 3. The bike's on the stage. What the hell? Where'd Farouk go? Here's RVD with a chair. And then he does the pose over Undertaker. Really should learn to pace that shit better. And that's about it. Jericho then has an interview where he just talking about the main event and insults Sharmell. Not as much as Kurt Angle did about, 3.5 years later. Bestiality sex. Man, Kurt was uncomfortable doing that. Angle and Jericho took on Rock and Austin. They glommed Rock. They glommed Dwayne's Rock Hard Johnson. And beating the people's ass. Pounding it repeatedly. Lost my train of thought. Austin comes down. It's just a brawl. Straight up brawl. Ankle lock at one point gets broken up by the Rock. And then a melee down to Jericho and Rock. Sharpshooter for the victory. That lame-ass sharpshooter, but Jericho's trying to preserve his body. Angle's upset that he lost. Hits an angle slam on Jericho. Leaves. And since Jericho's the only one laid out, naturally he's going to win. Austin and Rock toast. And that's it. And now we speed towards vengeance. Agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.